What's happening, guys? So just taking a little break from the garage. I've had a lot of people over the last couple months, and all of a sudden lately, as the new year comes in, asking questions about YouTube and I guess comments and how to make money, and they want to start a YouTube channel, which is great. I think all those things are fantastic. Clearly, I'm rich and famous. No, I'm not at all. But I have gotten just a small amount of traction, a little thimble of worth, I guess, on YouTube. And I figure I kind of show you what I have, or tell you what I have to do or had to do to get to where I'm at. So if that's your goal, there's many channels and stuff like that that are way bigger. But it's fun, and you can make a few bucks off it, and I don't know, turn your hobby into a little at-home business. So I think the first things first, you just gotta be realistic with yourself. How much time and energy and effort you want to put into it. It's like absolutely anything out there. If you put 1 hour into going to the gym a month, or if you put 100 hours into going to the gym a month, if you're doing the proper work, one will pay off, one won't. So you got to pick and choose. Now, I'm full-blown addicted to hot rods. Love them, always have. I've tried other hobbies, from woodworking to baking bread. I've tried it all, and I always come back to cars. So I can't stop. So that makes it easy for me, because I'd be out here doing this as many hours as I do, no matter what. So I don't know who's going to be watching this. I assume it's probably hot rodders, or car people, I should say. But if somehow someone else is seeing this, just make sure you pick a hobby you're really into. So, I mean, honestly, I wish I was into video games. Those streamers, man, that looks like a lot of fun, a lot easier. You got a lot of hours, but the outlay of cash is probably a little bit less too. That's the other thing. So you're making money, but these cars cost a lot of money. Anyways, back to the hours. So I think you got to be honest with yourself. Now, a rule of thumb I heard years ago that I think really holds true is for every minute of content you put out, you will spend 1 hour making that minute. So that is obviously, for myself, I'll just run that down. Running around getting parts, ordering parts, whatever it may be, bringing them home, unboxing, all that sort of stuff. The actual working on the car, that's a huge part of it. Once the project is done, I mean, a 20-hour project, well, you got to get all the stuff, then work the 20 hours, then you got to rip all the information off the camera, put it onto the computer, edit it, render it, upload it. You put it out into YouTube, you're like, oh, I'm done. Nope, you're not done. It's out there forever. So now people are endlessly going to be commenting on it and emailing you about it and all those things, which is great, but it all takes time. So
a 25-minute video. Yeah,
so a video of mine, so I put out, let's say it's 3 videos a week, 3, 4 maybe, depending on how motivated I feel. And for 25-minute video, that's 25 hours. So to break that down, well, it's pretty simple, but so I'll work typically like 7 till 3. So I get home, have a quick snack, do whatever. I'm out in the garage from probably 4 o'clock till 7 or so. Go in, have dinner for an hour, 8 o'clock, back out in the garage, and then I'll go till typically at least 10 o'clock, if not later. There's many times where I'll be out in the garage till midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm coming in, and Danny and the dogs are already in bed. So that's, let's just say it's 5-6 hours a night, and that's 5 nights a week. And the weekend, well, I mean, I'm still up at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock on Saturdays and Sundays, not going out, not drinking, doing all those things. And I mean, to spend 10 hours in the garage is nothing. So many times I'll be out the garage 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, and if we go live, we do live streams at like 7:30. A lot of times, if you're in those live streams, you'll see I'm putting stuff away and I'm still in my grungy clothes. I'll put a full 12 hours in. Same with Sunday. So you can easily get 25 hours in just in Saturday, Sunday. So that's how that goes. And typically when I go in after garage, I just want to do my editing and all that sort of stuff. So it's a lot of time. And with that, you need people around you to support you. I mean, Danny's super, supportive of it. Feeds me, accepts all the stuff, kind of sees where we're going. Like, we have a combined goal or a vision of where we're going to end up, and this has taken us there step by step, which is awesome. So I think you can't just expect you're going to put, I shouldn't say this because it does happen, but you're probably not going to spend 15 minutes, make a quick video, do no editing, put it out there, and just have it go viral. At least that's my experience. I'm sure it has happened, but that's winning the lottery. In all reality, most people, it's a grind. It's like a second job. But I love it. I love every minute of it. And I think if you take the money you make versus the hours I've put in, it'd be a lot easier to get a second job and just work overtime if your goal is money. But I love doing this and happen to film it. Turning a hobby into a business, that was bonus for me and anyone else. I wrote down a few things on my phone so I don't forget it. The other thing, and I was there too, I'm still there. Every time you have a video go out and you wish it would do better or whatever it is, you're always hoping for that next big viral video. But they don't always come, right? And YouTube is very good at keeping you humble. You put a video out there and it'll tell you how it's placing out of your last 10 videos.
YouTube's kind of like the slot machines.
And, you know, for myself, my personal experience, I'll put out video, oh, this one's going to be a banger and do well. And YouTube gives you a 7 out of 10. And it's just right to the heart. And you do another video and you're like, I guess that was okay, but I could have done better, I screwed this up, or I didn't like the music, or whatever you did there. And it's like a 1. And you're like, what the heck? Why is this one taken off? And I've given up on trying to figure out what it is. Earlier on, I tried to do what people thought was cool or whatever was trending. But then I just came back, you know, I do what I like to do. I like working on old cars. As much as I think like cold starts are cool and finding these things in barns and ripping all that stuff out, old tractors and firing stuff up when it's cold as hell out, that's all cool. Just not my deal. And I feel like if it's not your bag, then you just don't have the passion about it. So my advice is, do what you're absolutely passionate about. If it's Tri-5 Chevys, do 57 Tri-5 Chevys, because yeah, I friggin' love them, and I don't ever have an issue coming out to the garage and working on these cars. If it was like I've tried doing trucks aren't my deal. I think I'm a truck guy, that I'm really not in the end. So that's, whatever the hobby is, or whatever you're trying to film, make sure you actually enjoy it and you're in love with it. And then back to the start, so you put a video out, and you know what, your first videos, I hate to be the guy to tell you, they're probably not going to be that great. My first videos, I'm sure, are terrible. If you go up and click on oldest video and watch my first few ones, I was awkward, I didn't like it, I didn't know how to film things, the lighting was terrible, the sound was terrible, all those things, right? You're going to get better, you just got to force yourself to do it. On that note, try and have good sound. People really don't like the shitty sound, and people don't like dark videos. Try and get those under control. Anyways, from that, so you put a video out there, and YouTube does such a good job of making you feel like a big accomplishment really isn't. So I remember my first videos, you get like 300 views. You're like, oh, that video did terrible. 300 views, man. Like, picture yourself here, like me and Danny before all the pandemic, we like to go to comedy club. Well, the guy is standing in front of 300 people. Imagine that, being in front of 300 people. Most people would clam up, they couldn't even carry on. You know, so you carry on from there. A buddy of mine, Lord Muck, told me, you know, as long as you can't afford to take all the viewers out for McDonald's, you're doing pretty good. So if you had 100 people watch, could you afford to take 100? 100 people's a lot if you got to pay for their meal.
Especially if it's full combo.
Yeah.
No coupons.
If they're supersizing. So bear that in mind. When you decide to do these different things, like 300 people's a comedy club or whatever around here. 1,500 people's probably like a theater. 15 or 18,000 is all of a sudden you're at the hockey stadium, and then like 40 or 50,000 or more, it could be like a legit NFL game or something like that. So I think you got to be aware of that. That's a lot of views, and you got to start somewhere, and it has to kind of carry on and keep building. Dollar-wise, everyone always wants to know how much money everything makes. I wish I could give you an answer. I'm not even trying to BS you. Every single video I've done, they make different dollars. So it's not just like you get 1,000 views is this much money. A lot of it depends on who watches the videos. Now for me, I think I'm in the lucky side of it. A lot of the people that watch my videos are in the US, 70-some%, dudes, and typically 45 plus. Now, in the grand scheme of marketing, you guys have the most money. So that pays pretty decent, versus if you're doing something for kids or some stuff that goes overseas or whatever. Because you have to realize YouTube is just, it's for advertising, it's for commercials. So the commercials that get sold to you guys who typically watch these videos are for stuff like, you know, like a brand new Chevy truck or something like that, which is worth spending money to someone in their 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever it may be, in, you know, US or Canada, because that's an available item. Obviously, to give that same commercial to someone who's 17 years old, probably not going to have as much of a chance of buying that truck. So those are the ads that pay more versus kids' toys and stuff like that. I mean, you're advertising to kids, but they don't got no money. They got to go to their parents, right? So that's a whole big rigamarag. I've had many videos. Some of the videos that really take off get a lot of views, actually make less money than some of the worst videos for views. So it's kind of all over the place. So for money-wise, I also, if you're getting into it for money, I think it's wrong. Personally, I think it's the wrong reason. Where you spend your money, for me, I use GoPros. Very simple. If I have another one, Danny's holding it. I buy a GoPro and a media mod kit, and that's it. Oh yeah, this is how I treat my stuff. So treat it nice too. Just a regular, this one is smashed. That's a GoPro 8, and that's just a little case that goes on it. These are like $500 for the set. I go through them fairly regularly, but I do find they do well with the sound. They're probably picking up this terrible noise of the fan, which everyone hates. And so that, I think if you're going to use tools or any sort of items in your channel, whatever it may be, spend the money wisely. All my hand tools and all that sort of stuff, I use Canadian Tire, Princess Auto, Craftsman, kind of name brand stuff, but definitely not the fanciest. Where I spent my money was on my 2 welders, the heater, that's kind of important. I do have some Snap-on hand tools and wrenches, which I've gotten used. Pawn shops, garage sales are your friend. And carry on. I don't think you got to go out spending all the money. Just make sure it's spent wisely. One last thing I'm going to leave you with. So you get past all those things, you start making videos, force your way through. Keep doing the videos. Don't give up. It's not going to happen right away, typically. So grind through it. I think I went for, I don't know, a year, 8 months before I kind of got any traction. And so keep going. If you get through that level, then you can kind of carry on. People will ask me for advice or shout-outs or all these different things before they even have a video out or they have one video. Get 10 or 15 or 20 videos going, and then I think somebody will actually maybe watch a video and give some advice. I will do that. I have done it many times, such as it is. Getting advice from me is something else. But I think anybody can do this, and anybody should do it. Mur told me years ago, if someone else can do it, you can do it too, and man, couldn't have been more right. And if you're doing the videos and they're not taking off and you're getting kind of frustrated, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but don't be the guy that blames the algorithm or tries, oh, I'm not getting shouted out, or I should go collabs with other people and all that sort of stuff. The honest truth, and I'm not trying to pump my own tires because I'm not the best by any means and I don't get the most views by any means. People watch good shit. So if we could up our game, which we kind of try here and there and maybe spend a few more dollars, I'm sure we would get more views. And if we dumbed it down, I'm sure we would get less views. So just keep that in mind. Would you watch what you're doing, or are you just trying to put it out there and get other people to watch it? There you go. Get out there and start a YouTube channel. It's pretty easy. Money's good. The hours suck. But they are your own hours you get to pick. And ultimately, you're your own boss, which is pretty cool. So I love it. I plan to keep doing it. And yeah, thanks for watching. So I can keep wasting the hard-earned money on junkie cars like this. Alright, get a camera. Get up there. Do it.
He's not the boss.
Go for it.